Now, quite shocking, low muscle tone is being seen in more children than ever before. Not only those in therapy, it runs interference with your ability to concentrate in the classroom, impacting on their ease of learning. And today we are actually talking to our creative parenting expert about just that. So Nikki Bush is here to talk about why schools are having to implement physical development classes into their daily curriculums just so that children can hold themselves up in the chairs for 20 minutes. That is shocking, Nikki.
It is,
That is shocking.
You know, for somebody who's as physically fit as you and who grew up on a farm, I think this must be kind of out of left field.
Look, I must be honest, I'm thinking about this. Yes, I am seeing how times have changed, and it's not the way that I had it on the farm, and we built things and climbed on things and did things and used our imaginations for things. So I can understand it, but is it really that bad? What are teachers witnessing?
Yep, it is. So I chat to teachers a lot, and what they're saying is the children, not just a few children, but the majority of children in classes today are unable to hold themselves up in a chair for 20 to 30 minutes at a time. So they're leaning on each other. They're finding another child to lean on. They're finding a wall to lean on. And what you see typically is that children on a desk will be leaning with both hands, you know, both arms on the desk just to support their heads. And they're having big problems with their pencil grips. But they're saying that even in the playground during break time, children are leaning on each other for support because they physically don't have that abdominal tone to hold up their posture. Now, low tone can be here, it can be in the mouth, it can be in the hands, it can be in lots of different parts of the body. So what schools are having to do is, over and above PT, you know, the PT classes, which are usually kind of sport-based. You know, that would be very much balls and ball skills and running and that kind of stuff and swimming. But beyond that, they're having to implement these perceptual development programs because there are lots of basic skills that are not consolidated in children by the time they reach the age of 6. That used to be consolidated. And these are all foundational skills that are important for sitting in a chair, for holding a pen, for reading, for writing, and for maths. You need strong eyes, you need strong hands, you need postural stability. These are all basics that help with academic learning later on.
My word. So what actively are the schools doing now then? Are they introducing different type of classes? Are they different type of things now?
So many schools who are concerned and obviously have the resources to do this and the specialty to do this, and these are general schools, they're not remedial schools. Every child in grade R, grade 1, grade 2 are spending the first half hour doing perceptual skills development. Now, this used to be done in preschool and in grade R, but now it's having to be done in the other years as well, because there is this just huge tendency for children en masse to be needing a form of therapy.
That is crazy. So, okay, so let's bring it back home to your home environment. Maybe you are living in an apartment on the 5th floor somewhere. You don't maybe have an open space. What can parents do to help?
So we need to find ways to get children off a screen and balance on-screen time with off-screen time. A screen is this big if it's a tablet, or this big if it's a phone, or maybe it's your flat screen TV that's that big. But the fact is, children are sedentary and they're not moving, and they're not using all these different parts of their body, and they can slouch in the couch. So if you've got some tongs and you've got some balls or even some apples or something like that, you know, doing these kind of activities where you would take one ball and put it into another bowl, we're using the fine motor coordination and that kind of thing. That's
not a stranger at my house, I must just say. I give it to my youngest, and he walk around the house and the most interesting things come out. I didn't even know it was in my yard.
Yes, exactly. And here we have a little ping pong ball. Put this on your floor and get your children to blow it, because that's for tone in the mouth. And I'll just blow it here and it's going to fall. Okay, but it's even
I seriously need to work on my
and it doesn't have to be a ping pong ball. Skills, it can be a ball of cotton wool. Okay, so real everyday household things. Do you want to have a look at what's on the floor here?
This is interesting. This has intrigued me quite a bit. Yeah, let's see what's going on.
Right. So this is a whizzer. Now, I had one of these when I was a child. I'm sure you might have had one of these. They're very inexpensive. Go and find these in a toy store.
Okay.
Now, we're talking about postural stability. We're talking about using the body. Right, here we go.
So this is a small space. Obviously, I'm not holding it by the handles, just so you guys can see, but let's get it down there. So,
mind your knuckles.
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay, so look, I'm using my shoulder girdle.
Yeah.
I'm using my core in order to make this happen. I'm using coordination.
Wow.
The eyes are being exercised because the ball is coming straight at us, and we've got to open our arms before it hits our handles. So there's judgment of speed, space, and distance. This is all about balance. This is all about coordination. This is all about strength.
Core strength, yeah. That is brilliant. Well, I'm hoping to see a couple of more exciting examples like that. Thank you very much, Nikki. We're going to talk about this topic a little bit later on this morning. Don't go anywhere.
It's my feel-good breakfast show. Well, it's time to catch up with our parenting expert, Nikki Bush. And this morning we're talking about how your child's low muscle tone, if they are experiencing that, could be affecting their ability to concentrate in the classroom.
Welcome back. We are still talking to our creative parenting expert, Nikki Bush, this morning. And earlier we spoke about the inability of many of today's children to simply hold themselves upright in a chair, which is very, very shocking. And schools having to implement speciality kind of classes and things to make sure that the children get that fitness and that stimulation as well. Nikki has got a great couple of examples that she shared earlier. Nikki, thank you once again for joining us. But just to quickly recap, low muscle tone, what exactly is that? And why are we seeing this with the majority of children in schools?
So children are having to expend a lot of energy and effort to make their bodies move or to make their bodies hold a particular posture, like sitting in a chair. And this used to be very normal, and it was only children who were like born prem or were small for date or had lack of oxygen at birth who used to get low muscle tone. But now a lot of children are getting it because they are sedentary and screen-based, not moving enough. And so they actually don't know how to control their bodies, and that muscle tone is low. So they're slouching, they're having to lean up against walls to hold themselves up, they're resting on their elbows all the time, they're leaning up against each other. And so they're spending all that energy on their body and they can't actually concentrate on the lesson.
Sure. That is great. So a direct impact. Now, who can help more with the situation? The schools that's got different programs maybe running, or the parents at home? Where does it start?
It starts at home. I always believe everything starts at home, and obviously schools are picking up the slack. But we need to make a teacher's job a lot easier by doing stuff at home with our kids and encouraging them to get off the couch and to move.
Exactly, because it's in your best interest as a parent to do that as well. You shared a couple of interesting examples earlier on. We've got the bright tongs, which is great. What else have you got for us?
Oh, right. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, Ewan, if you can pop this little beanbag on your head.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We can try that.
So we're doing balance, and I've put on the floor here a basic skipping rope. So
Okay,
can you walk along the line and not drop that beanbag?
Okay. There we go.
So that's using your core strength, your abdomen, okay? And you are using your neck, okay? So you're learning to hold your neck up and keep your head in the right position so that it doesn't slide off your head. That actually is a number of different processes all happening at once. And because you have the muscle tone to cope, you brought it, coordinated all those movements into a fluid movement. Children learn this in parts, and they learn to get good at it. They can't do that straight off the bat.
Absolutely, yeah.
They'd have to do it over and over. And then I've brought you some stilts.
Oh, for funsies, man. Yes, I can't remember the last time I had some stilts. I actually built my own as a kid.
Yes, out of tin cans, no doubt, or flower pots.
No, it was wooden poles.
Oh, wooden poles, okay.
It was high ones.
Those are proper ones, like clowns have. Yeah.
Yes, okay, so obviously my posture should be way different to this, but
so you are trying to be taller than you are. Children love to be taller than they are, but look at the core strength, and then also eye-foot coordination, eye-hand coordination, and that in itself is actually a pre-reading, pre-writing exercise.
And this is actually something you can make for your kids as a Saturday morning DIY project, dads.
There we go.
You know?
Absolutely. So I think for me, my message this morning for parents is really to be more awake and alert about what it is that children need to wake up their brains and to learn how to coordinate the different parts of their body all at the same time, so that when they're sitting in a classroom, they have the strength and the energy to listen and focus on the teacher and what the activity is that they're doing, rather than having to hold myself up in a chair.
Oh my goodness, my back's aching, this. And at that age, your back can't be aching. No! It should be right, Nikki. Thank you very, very much. That's great. So maybe as parents, go out there, change your mentality when it comes to your family, and go out and do more physical activities and get fit as a family together.